of a beautiful silver, and then we're going to work through into the violet as well. Adding detail, it does not have to be a dark opaque piece. Coming together, diffusing it from the scalp, continuing on the diagonal, building it up because I want those colors as they fall to melt. If I think about it, boom, thinking about how are the tones going to showcase the next, moving from point to point, allowing this reflective tool to now make everything else that I put on top of it, the towel, thanks, allowing everything now to go become much blonder. Back to that level 10 blonde that wants to be higher. You think about it, what they're missing is reflection, right? So that level 10, if I put a very sheer slice, like we're doing here, working its way through, what's going to happen? Opacity meets reflection. As it builds together, it's going to then make the level 10 blonde appear much more opaque than. The shadow icy slices that we're spilling through are going to give perfect detail. It doesn't have to be a dark piece, but it creates those beautiful shadows that the blonde is missing. So whenever a client says low light, to me sometimes it kind of drives me crazy because I don't want to see a brown unless we're going to flip this client back. Now clients like Paulina, she might come into you, and how often has this client then decided, I think I want to be dark again? Haha, yay. Are you sure? Because we know that probably in 6 weeks you're going to come back and ask me for what? I think I want some highlights. Of course. So here, driving the vinyl, the wool, and the cotton, vertically thinking about the movement of the line, I'm spilling everything together, allowing the detail to come off of the scalp. But blondes do not necessarily want to see the color boom right at the scalp, even if it is a dark level 7 or an 8, right? They don't want to see the railroad track of dark. They want it through here, right? The dimension. They need the wool and the cotton built in. So with that, down just a little bit, thinking about moving from this point, how these guys are all spilling, each one is going to move with the detail of the color. And I'll draw that out in 2 seconds. Coming through the sides in just a we're coming from the point, allowing all of the tone, spill it up, all the tone to be pushed into this very final point, right at the tip. No, it's fine. Hey, friend. What? So here, the very final point, even though it's the smallest sectioning, what's going to happen is I'm going to have continuous movement all the way through. And with it, I'm going to have Carolyn come out for a second so we can see. Thinking about this positioning, Carolyn, as I'm working through here into a curved environment, all these lines are spilling. As they fall, what's going to happen? All of the color into the movement is going to start pushing and supporting into the next, creating great detail, but I'm never smothering it. So as all of these tones fall together, left, right, rock star, I'm going to see push that's going to fall into the long flirt of the haircut. If she brings it up into a palm quiff, the color is just going to explode off of the scalp. And if I shift it left, why couldn't that turn into a very simplistic new form of a partial highlight? You got to see on the fender design, you think about this. Moving the color this way, horizontal strength. Whenever horizontal lines fall within a circular environment, it creates the same kind of haze effect like we did on the very last red that you got to see. The color pushes and explodes, so think 6 to 7 to 8. I'm allowing color to become strong because of the dark that's marrying the two together. Throughout the interior, building into the belly, we're building up through in the inside to create shadow. I want to showcase off the detailed lines within the haircut on both the right and the left. But here, let's create even more interest to it versus just looking like a vertical streak that really doesn't make sense. Yeah? Do you guys feel that? You're okay with it? Good? All right. Let's move to the front. Nice. Okay. So here, if I look, are you okay with that, Yolanda?
Yes.
All right, great. Da, da, da. My brush, but that's okay. Come to the front up here, babe. If I think about the khaki and denim again, what's very beautiful is I think about this brunette, that your brunettes a lot of times when they don't want to see warmth, or they don't want to see red in the hair, how many times do I see them shoe polishy, that it's too heavy built up? Because people have a tendency, if you're not getting coverage, or if you want to create durability, to jump a lower level, right? If you went into level 7, sometimes people are like, oh, I need a better coverage, I need more durability within the tool. They'll steal from a 6 or a 5, right? Well, all you've done is now made it bluer than, right? Have you ever used an overlay that on a 10 level, it's too cool, but maybe if we're trying to create this shade, again, of khaki, what I think about is where is the value of color? A level 9 is bluer than a level 10, right? So with that, back to the hit it and quit it, the quick rinse off, a level 10 pigment weight is oftentimes on decolorized hair too strong, and that's where it's going to go bluer. But with it, a level 9, still being bluer than, but having control, is going to give you more of a marshmallow white than a level 10 would, yeah? Because you still have the essential red, yellow, and blue that's there. Now in Goldwell, I took a 9-level beige neutral, but I borrowed a milliliter, which would be a quick shot of 7 MB. So I mixed a green enhancement into a 9 warm neutral to create this really beautiful cool tone. You know, I like to say I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I think gold really only works on uniforms. You know, it drives me crazy in hair. So here, thinking about the movement and the placement, same kind of designs. You can see the tones melt together, quick, beautiful diffusion, but then the shade of denim that spills through, it flirts through the exterior, creates a melted illusion. If I look at all the color hues come to life, the blues. And it was funny with Caroline, I told her, I said, you know, I want to do this denim-like shade. And she's like, is it going to be blue? I'm like, yeah, it's denim. What color is, you know, come on, dang. She's like, but I'm getting married. I'm like, uh-huh. So I let her freak out a little bit, right, because I like to play with them. And I'm like, well, you know, you look hot. And she actually told me, she's like, I got something blue now. I'm like, right. Haha, see, I'm glad I could help. But with it, you can see that the denim, why I call it that, you're picking up the most faint cast. Now, I did it, of course, to showcase it, but how can I take, well, into Goldwell Illumin, it's an ionic coloring that drives towards the cortex. So if you have warmth, I want to make sure that I can squash it. Here, working with 50 milliliters of an ash beige level 9, 10 milliliters of clear, 2 milliliters of a blue, pure, BB et al., and 1 drop of Na2, so I borrowed from the black to make it this really beautiful smoky detail. If I use this as an overlay on a brunette, that would actually squash the warmth. They wouldn't see the red, but they'll have reflection without it being muddy, yeah? As well as into the tone as a slice. I could shear that off just a little bit more and think about it as maybe an overlay on a blonde. As the color moves throughout the panels, we thought about the front sectioning, one more time, point to front forward. We worked from sidelines, point, and down point. So we expanded the width so I can see color exploding through the interior. One more diamond section here, closed triangle, and same on the opposite side. Because now, whenever that color moves, everything will just explode together. Come together here. When the color has life, no matter where it falls, turn around, show front, and it comes off of the face, I can't see exactly where it starts and exactly where it ends. It just is. Okay? So this is that very first patterning. It is one of my most favorites. Do it large or do it minimal. It's up to you. Because no matter what, it'll always give you perfect detail to showcase any of your tones. But I love the combinations. She has the whole story of the opacity meets reflection. She has the detailed zones. Again, put color in the right environment and let it work for you. Cool? Walk to the front, girl. Pump it. You're a model. Yeah. Amy, darling, I'm going to have you come out real quick for me, too. Thank you. Amy. If we look at into detail, where I took in Carolyn's sides, go ahead, work it, girl, pump it, show it, flirt it. So if I look at the back, this was in Carolyn. We worked on those curved triangular sections on the sides of the head. Remember, this was the front, Same deal, we worked on the interior. And then with it, we just traced the lines, working on diagonals, high and low, so it created more of a herringbone-like effect. Same thing was happening in the back. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Now what's special into Amy's hair, you think about it, this client that has lots of texture, she has lots of length, I want the tones to melt. What makes it special is that two combinations, you could easily decolorize a block section and dump a red on it, right? Okay. But with it, we did use a little of our silk lift to clean off some of the paint, right? I wanted to flip that quickly. But with it also, I put special combinations of a 5-level red-violet with VV mix, right, to make it deeper than. And then I went to a 6RV with RR mix to make it brighter. So slice on slice, build horizontally together, no background in between the sectioning. What it does is it makes that red so much lighter and brighter because 5-level depth is pushing that 6th level up and off. Okay? And just minute slicing in combination makes it that much stronger. Yeah? If I look at the detail, come on, girl, come on. It's really, really, I kind of think I'm her, is what it is. I walk like that every day. So if I think about the tones all coming here, spilling, high, medium to low, working throughout the full interior, exterior, she has really wicked color, done within 12 foils. Spilling high, spilling low, working through the section, but it never looks off, right, into the coloration. All of the texture dances, and it showcases the color zone, but I want this melted hue. The shape is round. Want that? Shape is round, and also, whenever it really flirts, I want the color to come to life. Versus looking like, she's like, versus looking like color that just stops. She has that short crown, hair hat often. Then the color, another middle intersection zone, I want this all to happen. Thinking about the movement of a circle. Pump it one more time, darling. That's great. Nope. Yeah, yeah. Thinking now on a circle. If you're building it all together, looking at the top of the head, looking at the side, boom. Into the front zone, recession to recession, curved form. Off of the center part, what we did is connect it, boom, connect it, boom, connect it, boom. Same thing on each side. Boom, boom. Side of the head. Here's my front tool. Each one then, coming from the front, middle belly, boom, middle belly, boom. So I hit from recession to mid-crown, connecting from the middle to reverse crown, from the middle into the occipital. Now I'm putting it, again, the strength of the actual curve. I place the foil in a curved position. You just sit it in there, slide it together, comes to life. Same thing, I'm outlining the section. If you wanted to build it up higher, build it. That's fine. But now, whenever these tones all come together, that's where I'm seeing the melt and the push off. It kind of gives, in a blonde brunette world, it gives a full highlight-like design, very simple. Same thing here, working corner to corner. If I had a client that, of course, they like the little choo-choo train highlights, right? Because they need that, what could I do? Place that right through the center if you need. If you wanted to continue with the curve sectioning, work it up even further. I can do as much or as little as I choose, but now that color will just explode off. Into placement, again, to create that haze, all of the tones melting to life, but I'm still showcasing all of the movement. Yeah? Feel okay with that? Good? It's really a quick, simple